Growing up from Scottish nobility, William Hogue did not anticipate a life in prison. In the late 1600s, William sat rotting in jail, left to change his religious beliefs or die. Did William believe his good name would give him strength as his family crest suggested? Yes. He chose to hold true to his convictions even if it meant enduring the excruciating conditions of prison. But William had an opportunity for freedom if he boarded the ship Caledonia, leaving Scotland forever. It was rat-infested, flimsy, unsanitary, and overcrowded, leaving many passengers to die on the voyage. Only the hardiest stock survived. He persevered. Although he arrived in America penniless, William had a vision for a life well lived and seized the opportunity to go to Virginia, which began the legacy of Hogue in America. His grandson, James Mayo Hogue, ventured further into undeveloped wilderness of Virginia, searching for his brother, but he found his true love instead. Once married, they established Hayfield Farm as their homestead, where they built a small log cabin nearby her family home, Sunnyside. James worked hard on the land he loved, creating his cattle business. General James Hogue, one of James Mayo's 11 children, bought out his siblings' right to the rich land his father owned to ensure he would succeed his father as proprietor, creating a prosperous venture which included prize cattle, gristmill, blacksmith, and a large hemp crop, which he used to make rope for ship. Outgrowing the small cabin in which he was raised, the general built a beautiful brick home, smokehouse, and cleaning house. After the general's death, James Hogue Tyler returned from the Civil War to the land he inherited from his grandfather. Barely escaping destruction, the house and fields were desolate. Years of diligent work went into bringing the farm back through prize cattle, the gristmill, sawmill, coal mine, and general store. He added on to the solid brick structure to accommodate his growing family and to reflect his new prestige in the community. Shortly after renaming the property Belle-Hampton, he left the farm to pursue his next venture, politics. But was it politics or the loss of his youngest child, who was only 3 at the time, that drove James away from the farm? At this point, the farm was left to become a summer home for the next 100+ years. The governor's son Heath inherited the property only to use it as a summer camp for his children. Little interest did he have in creating a thriving, growing business on the property. Rather, he built amenities to ensure his family's comfort, like a swimming pool and tennis court. He also built a garage attached to the cottage, which proved to be futile since the turning radius of cars at the time could never enter the structure he built. A hydroelectric facility by the dam was helpful to power the homes, but the creek's force was weak during the heat of the summer when he visited. After Heath's passing, Nellie, his wife, made the local society pages whenever she visited Belle-Hampton. She entertained many prominent people in high society, but the trek from Northern Virginia became too much for Nellie. Her daughter Sue enjoyed the getaways and continued her summer vacations at the farm. Once Nellie passed away, Sue inherited the property that she loved, although it was at a point of contention with her siblings. The estate was contested since the siblings felt Sue coerced Nellie with the inheritance. Although the downhill spiral of Belle-Hampton started when the governor left, Sue, Granny Sue as she was called, had no vision for the farm past being a place for parties and fun. Gatherings became larger as people parked on the front lawn only to sleep in their cars for lack of beds in the main house. When asked if she had plans to restore the historic structure, Granny Sue protested, saying it was hers to do as she wished. A pool table dominated the formal parlor, surrounded by historic Civil War letters and antebellum pieces of furnishings. Guests commented on the surreal environment of history encircling the rowdy partygoers. With the passing of Granny Sue, the Belle-Hampton legacy was at a tipping point. Will the family legacy die a sudden death after 250 years? William's journey and vision for his family in America was slowly disappearing after each generation. Will the family's good name give strength as it had in the past? After almost 100 years of neglect, this grand estate was overwhelmingly in need of attention. To preserve it for future generations was an impossible dream. Or so they thought. Only a week before putting the property on the open market, a distant cousin, the great-great-grandson of General James Hogue, offered to buy the property. He had the vision to restore the property and regain its prominence as a viable business. The family legacy was saved. From the beginning, when the Hogues arrived in America, they worked hard to achieve their dream. But through the generations, their mission, vision, and core values were lost or ignored. If they only had a succession plan and unified vision that is in place for the farm today. Don't let your family legacy die. Create a succession plan to transition for future generations. Learn from the lessons of the past and do not let history repeat itself. Can we help you with your family legacy?